Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Dot the zero. The question is, did Aryabhata invent zero? That question has been written and described as if it was Aryabhata who invented zero or discovered zero. It was not known before that. That is something which I would like to say it is not the fact. Aryabhata did not invent, nor did he discover. Sages of Sanatana Dharma, from Veda to Upanishads to other things, were well aware of the word zero, but they called it Shunya, emptiness, without any description. And that has been there from the very beginning. Another reason why I am taking this particular question at this stage, because I answered a question on Quora, did Aryabhata invent zero? If so, how Ravana had 10 heads is mentioned in Ramayana, which is 5,000-6,000 years old, whereas Aryabhata is of recent origin. Ancient Indians were aware of 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh descriptions of 10 from the very beginning. But the question is why people did not recognize zero as such, or for that matter. Vedas, in my opinion, are the most scientific documents full of mathematics, science of the highest order. But to understand that, we have to be in tune with universal consciousness. If we are not in tune with universal consciousness, we can never understand Vedas, Upanishads, or many of the stories of Puranas, and as a result, Sanatana Dharma is considered a religion of infancy even today, which I would deny. The real spiritual science, from core to the ultimate, and full of divine mathematics, full of science, full of description which is unheard, unspoken about, is there in Vedas, Upanishads and Puranic stories. And I've been trying to explain that with respect to my own experience. Since I have experienced all this within my own body, only then I can experience that within the external world. First and foremost, person has to be so purified, perfect in everything, physically healthy, emotionally stable, mentally powerful, spiritually integrated, in love with the entire universe. Should be one who believes in Vasudha Katamba. He has been as a custodian, guardians of the world, to give impeccable wisdom to the world for the benefit of the entire humanity. Anyone who is in tune with universal consciousness can only understand Shunya. He has to experience Shunya within. Then he can experience all the things which are given. At this juncture, I go back to my childhood and start explaining certain experiences since my childhood, which made me come to realize that Shunya is within the body, Shunya is zero, and we have to experience it, and it has to be understood. Now, from that point of view, let me tell you story very clearly. That as a child I was born and brought up, and during my childhood I did experience the descent of Mahashakti, which you can call Gayatri, and of course I experienced Aditi within me as a child itself, and service as a result has been, I did see a ball of light falling on me when I was down with fever as a child, and that particular thing lifted me from the bed, and I was unconscious for some time, then recovered. And my mother, who was there, was made to understand that somebody had attacked, which I do not believe. It was a divine grace. At the feet of Mount Kailash, as well as at the feet of Tirkuta mountain, the temple of Lord Shiva, as well as Durga, which gave me the freedom to have the experience of descent of Mahashakti, or Mahakundalini, or Gayatri at that given moment of time. The benefit of that, after that my intelligence increased to the level that I was in tune with Akash Kosh. Subsequent in school, Any mathematical question which nobody could answer, when was given to me, I would give immediate answers even before the question is complete. Everybody was surprised. How could I do that? And I have written that in my description from the very beginning. The result was I had an outstanding exemplary academic performance, unheard of till date, and basically mathematics. And as a result, I wanted to do research in abstract mathematics so the world understands ancient divine mathematics to the world in an abstract form. But it so happened 1964, my father had a paralytic stroke and he did not recover. And I felt he did not recover because we could not afford the kind of treatment which was required at the given moment of time. Then I decided, what am I going to do with mathematics? Let me become a medical doctor and treat every patient I treat for the rest of my life, free of cost, as if I'm treating my father and mother. I have done that all my life. I continue to do that even today. The result is a transformation from mathematics to the medical profession actually turned out to be a great asset for me. Because I'm a medical doctor, I understand anatomy perfectly. I can experience anatomy within me, and incidentally my physical structure is perfect according to Divya, the way it should be. My physiology is as perfect as it should be. My psychology is as perfect as should be. My biochemistry is as perfect as should be. Even at the age of 73, all my biophysical parameters, biochemistry is as good as when it should be 21. That has been an experience, to experience the beautiful anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, psychology within me, having the purified body and working exactly like the ancient Indian Brahmins who were pure vegetarian, did not subscribe to any drugs, who were in tune with nature and moved on. I have followed that concept very clearly. When you are a Brahmin, then you become a Brahmin in tune with universal consciousness. Even one thing which is unnatural, which is not part of normal physiology, is going to come in the way of your evolution to the universal consciousness. And that is also something which I have shared over and over and over. Now, with that background of my medical profession experience within the body, and then talking about universal consciousness within the experience, and then talking about conviction to the world, this is what I have experienced. And I'm not talking of the copy of some book written by somebody else. And on record I had my own personal library of more than 10,000 books, which every book I have read, and the amount of books and other things I read was phenomenal. But I do not subscribe even a single book written by any living human being explaining Vedas, Upanishads or Gita in the light of their mindset. He's been very defective. I'll not point fingers at him. So my information comes from Akash Kosh, which is the record of universal consciousness, and the inner circle is vibration of 8.73 Hertz. And I'm able to produce 8 Hertz frequency throughout the brain with eyes open, eyes closed, anywhere and everywhere. As a result, I'm with Akash Kosh. My answers come from Akash Kosh, do not come from any of the information on the earth. So that is the difference between. So my voice of silence, so-called Shruti, hearing a voice of silence from divine, has been my asset since my childhood. And I prefer to listen to my voice, which gives me much better answers. Then I try to reframe my answers, keeping that experience. And no wonder I have set records in academics, which I wonder whether anybody else would ever be able to break my records. In my profile, academic excellence, PhD and other things. And of course, I've given the world something which I'm not going to share about. Now comes the question of my dharma, impeccable wisdom, akhandata, knowledge to the core, from agyan to gyan to vigyan to pragyan to akhandata, incomplete, you cannot find fault. That is impeccable wisdom I'm talking about. And Akhand Vidyashram is talking about that. Akhand Sutra, my book, last book, talks of only that, nothing other than that. My greatest discovery is Divya, the divine design of nature with which the perfect objects of the entire universe, right up to sodium chloride pump within the body, DNA, menstrual cycle, are all the biophysical parameters are with Divyank only. That is what I've been trying to say. This is a perfect knowledge, mathematical design of nature from smallest to the greatest is like that. So I can say 0 to innumerable infinite numbers is all with Divyank only, nothing other than that. Now, from this level, how I have discovered the beauty of this unit consciousness. Now, let me give my own autobiography, how I learned to get into impeccable wisdom one by one, and what is the kind of learning, where did I get this particular knowledge, how did I start, how I built it up, how I'm going to take it now. Let's move on to that very practical approach of Akhand Vidya. Akhand Vidya is a foundation stone of impeccable wisdom. Akhand means integrated, flawless, perfect to the core. Everything is within that. There is nothing out of it. If it has to be impeccable wisdom, we got to go every aspect from 0 to the greatest, all in an integrated way. And all the things which are not a part of that should be eliminated and make a sequence of something which nobody can deny. But I am glad seeds of this were put into Katra school when I was in my elementary school. The school had on the table this one particular shloka from Hitopdesh written very clearly. Vidya dadati vinyam vinyat yati patratam patratam cha dhan dharam tatha sukham. If we want the world peace, we should have a perfect knowledge of impeccable wisdom is the one. Vidya dadati vinyam. And the perfect knowledge will make you very, very humble. Many people ask me, nobody knows you, but you are talking of impeccable wisdom. When you are talking of impeccable wisdom, you don't have to talk about it, you don't have to show to the world. World should see your work and that should speak for you. That is vinyam, that is humility, that is what is the reality of education. Only truly educated people with impeccable wisdom who are in tune with universal consciousness, they are the only one lead a very simple life because they know they are only instruments of divine consciousness. We are guardians or custodians designed to take care of impeccable wisdom. Now, the people who have that humility of oneness would never believe in caste system. Then all the caste systems become one for that person. And when all the people work together as unity and they understand what are their strengths, what are the skills, they work according to that. Then there will be a great production or products what they manufacture will be perfect because everybody is doing that. All these 4 castes of Hinduism, Shudra to Vaishya to Kshatriya to Brahman, they have their roles well defined. And everybody should do according to their capability and quality. All these reservations of different natures are the biggest block because you are making a man who just know ABC to be the head of department and guide the future research, which is not possible. You need a person with impeccable wisdom to be a Brahman, to lead from front. Since I have not found anybody of that kind, so I am becoming a one-man show through Akhand Sutra, Akhand Vidyashram, Akhand Vidya, in everything is a one-man show. A to Z for these videos are done by me alone with my work. So I want to show I am a Brahmin by birth, I am Brahmin by thoughts, I am Brahmin by actions, Brahmin by research, and by Brahmin in tune with universal consciousness, and that is what I would like to share with the world. Now I am going to talk about good student. Now I have come to very clearly to say only I am a student and my biggest qualities are 3. I listen carefully with full concentration to anything and everything which I am doing. As a matter of fact, my contemporaries do say, you don't take part anything. You don't nothing. We discuss, but you are only listening. You just don't take part. You don't even contemplate on this. And I make it very clear, I am listening and trying to understand. There is no need for me to discuss and disturb the speaker who. I want the speaker to speak fully out. Explain A to Z to me. Listen carefully and then make it part of my living. That's my first quality, and that's a quality I look from every student in the world. And many people say, you have so much of knowledge, why don't you become guru? And no, I am a simple person. I have learnt on my own, and I want everybody to learn and deserve their accreditation on their work by themselves. You cannot become a guru and make Shishya guru. It's just not possible. I would rather share the knowledge, give it to the world as such, and not worry about taking somebody by hand and giving them the kind of wisdom. It's not here. We are fit enough to be a student. Let's remain student, done with it. And second thing, the student should have the desire to have impeccable wisdom. He should not be sacrificing anything or accepting anything which is not true. And that is the law of Neti Neti, which Yajnavalkya talked about it. Not this, not this, not this. Don't stop short till you find impeccable wisdom. That is the second part. And third thing, which is very important, that person should be in a position to understand all the 64 arts and sciences, contemplate and see the connecting concern within that. All relative knowledge is defective. Only absolute wisdom can give you the perfect knowledge of impeccable wisdom, and that is important. That is the quality of a student. Only such student can do wonders. I have done that ever since my childhood. Even today I continue to do that. Every slide is done by me with an open mind and ex-tempo speaker. Now let's talk about the 10 stages of integrated education. I am making it very clear. First stage, 22 by 21, is the basic structure of the first stage of creation. But it has to go through 10 stages of development to become clear. Now I'm going to talk about 10 stages of education which I want every student from all over the world should have a uniform syllabus from school, college to the university. There will not be any problem. All the 10 points should be observed and given to every student. Education should be free for everybody. Give the chance to everybody. Let them think for themselves. Then the world will be a perfect place. Don't deprive poor, economically weak, coming from weaker section, village section, not to be given. I would do that, and I'm doing that for the love of it in the form whichever is available. The first step is take the book at a stretch and comprehend the central concept only you can do. You will not be able to complete after reading first stretch, but read at a stretch to know what is the concept, what is the theme person is talking about. That's first step. Second step is to read it again, keeping the context of the subject in the light of the words he has used. But as a result, you realize every language medium has got 3 deficiencies. Deficiency 1, you have inadequate number of letters in every language. English has 27 and Sanskrit has got 52. There is inaccuracy of word formation in different word form, which is creating more problem. There is ambiguity word in everything, which is another cause for the world to have a problem. We should avoid by rereading in the light of the context. Then each word will have the clear meaning coming up. Third step is expand or master. No book is comprehensive. We need to study all the related literature on the subject from A to Z to get the complete gist of the subject. That is the next thing which we should understand from school to the graduation to the master. We have come to that particular stage as a student. Then after having understood that, the person should take the knowledge to explain to the people what he has understood from the memory and not from any external aid, not from a book or other thing. Your entire knowledge should be in your brain. They should not be in need. You should be a walking, talking encyclopedia. That is the 4th level which I am talking about. And this information that you got to share more and more, also I got in Katra school only. And it was Vidya Dadati Vinya Patitam Patatam Chidharm is first one. Then Saraswati ke Bhandar mein Badi Apurva Baat Juju Kharche Tyutu Bade Bin Kharche Gatiyat. It means the treasure of Goddess Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, is very peculiar. More and more we spend, more and more it grows. And least we spend, least it grows. Now I want every student, every teacher, every professor, every research scholar to share the knowledge with the world with the impeccable wisdom for the world to spread. It is good for them, it's good for the world. That is the second point which I am very, very clear on. So reinforced in the divine law of nature, I learned these concepts in Katra school. I have made it very, very clear. It's a part of my simple autobiography. Having explained that, you will realize that so many things which we have missed. To find an answer in that, you got to do research on that subject. To fill in the impeccable wisdom, the lacunae, and fill the gaps. Once we are able to do that, then only the knowledge will become complete as far as research is concerned. That is the stage in learning a subject or object. At that stage should be brought for everyone. And since I am a PhD subject, my subject was physiology, Kundalini Yoga, power spectrum analysis. Because I had an experience of Kundalini, I had an experience of the knowledge, I have the wisdom. As a result, I have shown to the world that I can produce 8 Hz alpha frequency throughout the brain with eyes open, eyes closed, anywhere and everywhere. This is something which has never been done by anyone in the world till date. I'm going to show that picture also as I move on. That is what is required in research. You should be unique. It should not be a copy of somebody else. Find fault with that, and that is going to be replaced. That is not research. You should have an experience, and based on your experience, you should design research methodology and give to the world impeccable wisdom which nobody has ever done. That is research. Not copying something, then adding something is the research. My PhD is unique from that point of view. Having done my PhD, then you should write an abstract. And one thing which I've been saying very clearly from my childhood, and I've shown that in my answers from school, college to the university till date, you should be in a position to write an abstract in 10 lines, 1 page, 10 pages, 100 pages, 1000 pages. It all depends. If you have understood, you can write abstract shortest. For that matter, in Akhand Vidyashram, my website, I have only 10 lines of my CV or profile. But I can tell you, it can beat anyone in the world as far as profile is concerned. You should have that art. Each word should be appropriate. There should not be any difficulty at all. And it should be in line with impeccable wisdom, nothing other than that. Then comes the stage of writing a thesis for your PhD work or your own experience, and you should have a detailed data, information, knowledge, wisdom in a sequence form. It should like 108 mala of japa mala should be there. But each and everything which is the integrated part, flow chart, step by step should be described so clearly that there not be any deficiency in your knowledge which people can find fault. And I have been saying from the very beginning, Akhand Vidyashram stands for impeccable wisdom, and I want people to find fault and bring it to my notice. But I am glad. All the information I have got through Quora answers or my this or my website is 100% positive, positive, positive only, not even single negative any nature, because nobody has been able to find fault and point it to me, because I expect someone to find fault and tell me what is better, which nobody has done. So it is 100% success. Now it comes to the question of 8th level is mathematical design. I am very clear from my childhood. If it has to be a perfect science, it has to be mathematically conclusive. If it is not mathematically conclusive, that kind of science has no relevance at all. Mother of all the sciences is mathematics. Language of divine nature is mathematics. Conclusive mathematics is the real science. And example is Devyank. This is a mathematical design revealed for the first time in 2015 by me. It has got all the things nobody can find fault. And all the mathematics and other things which world has today is highly defective. I'm going to talk about it, why it's defective, what is divine mathematics. That was the 8th. 9th, I also do know that if it nature's part, everything designed so beautifully, then mathematical design should also be in a position to convert into a symbolic representation. This mathematical Devyank I have converted into symbolic representation down. You can see 22 by 21 outside the orbit. Then you can see the 10 pentagons, the 10 levels. Then inside you can see 5 white things starting. These are 5 pictures. And that's it. That ninth level, you should be able to convert mathematics into symbolic form. That is one part. This next picture, which I call Akhand, entire universe, A to Z, from smallest to largest, is there in this particular symbol alone. This is a symbol of integration. This is done by me. It's a not copy of something. It is, I would say, my Atma or Antaratma or Paramatma, all are responsible in guiding me, and I think as a student, I think I've flown very well, and this is the result of that particular concept. Now come to the 10th part, is called integration. There is something called horizontal widening and there is something called vertical widening, and that is what I keep telling my students. When you come on the horizontal side, let there be 64 different arts. When all the 64 different arts understand A to Z of every subject and heighten it, that is vertical integration. We need to have horizontal integration of anatomy, physiology, biochemistry on one side, and other medical or paramedical on the horizontal side to get perfection. And that integration is Akhandata, which I am talking about. Application of wisdom in daily life should become a challenge. Then have the knowledge of A to Z of every subject that you don't need to depend on somebody else. Let me tell you very clearly, for the last 20 years I've been living alone, doing all my jobs single-handedly. I'm not living with anybody because instead of that I have run out of the family. My family preferred to be in America and Canada where they're happily settled, but I didn't want to leave India because India is the wisdom place for me. And that's it. Let's not get into challenge for that. And impeccable should become a way of life because you know A to Z. Everything is known and that is it. So conclusively I can say mathematically Divyank is the answer and symbolically Akhand is an answer which I am talking about. Now come to the question. It has been written very clearly. It was the India who was Vishwaguru. And I can go to the extent it's the India which is going to be Vishwaguru today, and it's the India who is going to be Vishwaguru tomorrow. Because the people at only land which is rising and rising with universal consciousness is only India. And person who can rise to that should be a Brahmin, need not necessarily by birth. But his thoughts, action should be Brahman, impeccable wisdom. And I can tell you one thing, that knowledge is there in Vedas, Upanishads, not to the extent of Divyank, but divine mathematics there, but unfortunately the world has not understood. As a result, there is a problem. Now, we say it is the India who gave zero to the world, not anybody else. It's true. But how India gave is not shown to the world the way actually it should be. Aryabhata is much younger, where it is there as old as the oldest in Rigveda itself. I am going to explain that as we start working on that. But Brahmins taught it to Zoroastrian, Zoroastrian taught to the Arabs, Arabs taught to the West mathematics, but they converted into man-made mathematics, and that man-made mathematics is spoiling the whole world in science and otherwise. No, the scientists can only find fault with somebody and replace with something which is again defective. Even greatest scientist of the world, Einstein, got a Nobel Prize 100 years ago. And 3 scientists came and proved that even Einstein was wrong. If that is the science, it's defective basically because it's a man-made designs. It is not divine. If it is divine, nobody would have beaten him. And I can tell you, nobody can beat Divyank, nobody can beat Akhand because they're part of it. But I can go that higher levels, improvisation can help as I have done it myself. But it will be part of the exclusive concept which I am talking about. Now, let's come to the question of evolution of number 0. First, understand the definition of 0. 0 is an empty number quantity. Number 1, it's empty. There's nothing inside. You can see the picture. Adding 0 to any number leaves that number unchanged. And in mathematical terms, 0 is the additive addition of the integer, rational numbers, real numbers and complex numbers as well as other algebraic structures. Only when you add 0 in front it has no value, but add 0 later is what 1 becomes 10, 10 becomes 100, 100 becomes 1000, 1000 becomes 10,000, and 100,000 and 10,000 million, and so on. It goes on increasing. But 0 is very important when it comes to the additional part. That is something which is very clear as far as definition is concerned. But let us now understand how did we develop this particular mathematical design. And I can tell you, it is Vedas, it is a Sanskrit which started the word. The word used for 0 was called Shunya, empty. There's nothing inside. It is even state of the mind. It's a quality which everybody is talking about. That is what Sanskrit is. Arabs converted Shunya into Sifar. Shunya to Sifar, that means it's 0. Then Latin and Greek converted into Zephyrus. The Italian converted into 0. French and English only from 1598 using the word 0. They never used it before. They were only aware of 1 to 9, not of 1 to 10. And that is how the addition which I came, the answer is Indians were aware of 0 even before. It is not Aryabhata. It is there in Ravan's 10 heads. He spoke so volume about 10 heads. That is 10 levels of concentration. And I associate with Nabhi. And it is so brutal. Ravan was also a Brahmin. Even God could not kill him because he had all the 10 points. Let's not get into religious because that is not the thing which I want anybody to. Go to spiritual science, that's my focus is. Now you can understand the West is 0, is new concept, but Sanskrit it is Shunya right from Vedas itself. Now, Veda mantras are called Shruti, mean directly heard. They were the sounds of the universal consciousness which rishis were able to see, hear, and conceive. And I do believe Veda mantras are recorded in Akash Kosh. Anyone who's in tune with the universal consciousness can hear with the ears or see called Shruti, or you can have with clairvoyance, clairaudience, and we can integrate divine inner ears to hear that sound, and that is what Shruti is all about. Now let's now come to the core question of how evolution of Vedas and Shunya or 0 or dot came through. And I know very well, space before the creation, when Rigveda says everything was in Andhakar, darkness, tamas, inertia. And it is said even gods do not understand the content because they were created with that. But I am very glad in that written that human beings can contemplate on anything and everything because we are in tune with universal consciousness. We have all concepts, all the gods within us. We are not working at individual level. We are working in universal. And that information is there in Rigveda itself. But to make that concept which is abstract in nature, Maharishi Yajnavalkya in Brihad Upanishad has explained that it was in a death state of matter, not in active form. A clue is given. But the real description about what was there is given by me, that it was isomers of neon 21, which is Atma, were present, which collided to form 22, and there was effulgence, light, and matter appeared from there through 10 stages. That's the beauty which is there in ancient Indian wisdom. Now comes the question of understanding Atma. Atma is an inert matter. Ancient Indian definition is Atma cannot be burnt, cut, dissolved or destroyed. Atma is eternal, blissful, omniscient and omnipotent. And scientific evidence is inert matter cannot react, form compounds with other atoms, be burnt, cut, dissolved or destroyed. Hence the soul is made of inert matter, and that is what Vedas are talking about. And they have a structure which is Shunya, or empty, or circle within that. Whether we are talking of Aditi, which is helium-4, or Gayatri, which is neon, or Adi Parashakti, which is argon, they are symbolically, orbitally 0 only. That's it. Now, as I told you, Akash, the universal space before the creation, let's understand that. I have told you in the beginning it was darkness. Brihat says voice of silence as Rith, and voice of silence and mind says Adi Prashakti. Organ 40 was then, which became organ 21, and that's it. Now to understand that darkness, I have explained all the noble gases, whether it's helium, neon, argon, krypton or xenon, are dark inside because the focus is neutrons and protons are at the center and electrons are not projected outside. Everything projected inside. So there's darkness outside and light inside, and that is the reality by and large. Now, Mahabrahmans, there are three sides of the world which I want to talk about. If Jivatma, 100 trillion cell is one Jivatma, ourselves, then Brahman is a solar system. But there is something beyond the spiral galaxy, Mahabrahman. That is what I am talking about, the greater universe. And greater universe is called Adi Prashakti, is the mother of that. That means there are 18 dimensions. And you can see 18 arms in the ancient Indian picture, which I do not know who created it. But the fact is you can see 18 arms. You don't see 17 or 19. And 18 arms, they knew very well there are 18 electrons in, you have in organ 40, and that is greater universe is made of. Now come to the next stage of Brahman, our solar system, is made from spiral galaxy right up to solar system, and spiral galaxy is the one which has got 10 suns within that. So we are part of the spiral galaxy, our Milky Way. Our solar system is one of the 10 parts. This again shows there are only 10 dimensions, not more than that. And to understand that, I understand that is represented in Gayatri picture, which I have spoken about again and again. In this particular picture, you can see 10 arms. Adi Prakshakti, 18 arms, but here you have 10 arms. In that you have 2 plus 8 plus 8. Here you have 2 plus 8. And it is complete, again darkness. And that's the most beautiful part. During the creation of the present universe, our solar system, spiral galaxy, it was neon plus neon, which became neon 21, light, time, and all the matter which we have, from energy to matter. Akash Bhuta to Vayu Bhuta to Agni Bhuta to Jal Bhuta to Prithvi is all there, and that came from neon 21 to neon 21, light, and right up to hydrogen is like that. I have also gone on to show that neon 21 is 90% of the universe, neon 21 is 1%, neon 22 is 9%. This is only stable element there in the universe, highly commended. Now, third level, which is our Antaratma, indwelling soul, I say it is Goddess Aditi. And Goddess Aditi is called mother and daughter of Daksha as far as Vedas are concerned. Vedas say Aditi is the mother and daughter of Daksha, who is the king. So I'm sure Vedas are talking about Surya Bhagwan only. But Upanishads say Aditi is the mother and daughter, Aditya is the son. Much more clearer. And since Upanishads are derived from Vedas, they have to be much more simplified and to the point and very clear. And now I have gone to show to the third level that it is neon 20, helium 4, which has got 2 protons, 2 neutrons and 2 electrons, and that is human soul, and I call Antaratma and also call it Kundalini. And this is also a description which I want the people to understand. Kundalini is nothing other than Atma, Antaratma or Aditi by and large, and that's it. The next point which I want everybody to understand, and this is the answer which I have given, Aditi, Aditya and Aditi, that mother, son and daughter are the complex which are there in the core of the sun taking place. Hydrogen is getting converted into helium-4 and helium-4 is getting converted into hydrogen, is the beauty in the nucleus session. I have already explained, picture is there, you can see in reality why Aditi is the mother and daughter of Aditya, association of helium-4 to hydrogen, and that's it. Now let's come to the next question of coming to Shunya. Hiranyagarbha is something which has been given very clearly in ancient inscription, golden womb of divine nature. One person who can understand Hiranyagarbha can understand Shunya very clearly. You can see the Shunya blue right in the middle and how it is expanding and going to the world. It is infinity in everything. That's the beauty is there in Hiranyagarbha itself. And I would say Hiranyagarbha is Akashbhuta, and Akashbhuta is the energy form which is in the same circle form. Dot is the smallest part. Then you have circle. Then you have sphere. And that's it. And all life starts from there. Then come to the next stage. Akhand Yantra Vidya says very clearly, the Akash, a primordial space, resembles dot in the microform, then circle, sphere, Shunya, Sifar are zero. All are identical, as in this particular picture is very, very clear. Then let me take it to the next level. This information is there in Akash Kosh, and Akash Kosh is a Schumann resonance field or ionosphere around the Earth's atmosphere, the seventh layer of atmosphere which I have already explained. It has got three layers. The inner layer close to the Earth is 8.73 Hz, and outer one is 21 again, and in between 14. They are very significant. But once we are able to produce this 8 Hz, 8.73 Hz throughout the brain, we can be with Akash Kosh. We can get all the wisdom from there without any problem. Now comes to the question of impeccable wisdom. I know very well. To get the impeccable wisdom, we have to be in tune with Schumann resonance field or Akash Kosh, producing 8 Hz frequency throughout the brain, or 8.5 or 8.73, with eyes open, eyes closed, anywhere and everywhere. Then you are in tune. But that can be done only when Kundalini comes within the ventricles of the brain and integrates the entire nervous system. As a result, you can see in this particular picture, the outer three layers of neocortex. All the neuroscientists of the world are not even aware of its functions. But I know they act as an antenna to Akash Kosh. And once these are fully activated, entire nervous system becomes one. The whole brain becomes like your instrument of divine nature. You are in position with Akash Kosh. All the wisdom comes to you. You can record that within the brain. That is exactly what I have done. All my answers come from there. I feel it. I try to understand in the light of divine mathematics, physics, chemistry, all the medical sciences of the Persian core, and that's it. Now, as a scientific proof, I would say from my PhD work and thereafter, I can produce 8.5 Hz frequency with closed eyes throughout the brain. This is a proof of the fact which I have done with the university, EEG done on me. With open eyes, I can produce 8 Hz frequency throughout the brain. You can see it very clearly. Alpha spindles of the kind which are unique in their own concept. Nobody can deny the fact. Then comes the question of my personal experience of understanding Ara as Shunya, which from inside out. During one of the exercises which was conducted on yoga, concentrating on Muladhara chakra, Svadhisthana chakra, Nabhi, Anahata and Visudhi, within 5 stages itself, I found my body jerking with one and I was put into white bag of light. That was my first experience of understanding Shunya within my body, within the 5 stages. That is the Shunya. That is the beauty. That comes with Visudhi chakra itself. You don't have to go to Shahasra chakra because this is the highest as far as sympathetic system is concerned. And when I explained that to the teacher, he said, please don't tell others, they will think you have gone mad. You will be considered and then you will put into different things. When I look at that particular concept and I feel how the world is unconscious of the fact that we human beings are capable of listening to inner voice and getting something of the highest nature sitting at home. And that is what impeccable wisdom is. That is what Vedas talking about. That is Upanishad talking about. We human beings are Brahmand within Pindand. Brahmandam, Pindandam is one. We are microcosmic representing macrocosmic universe. When you believe you are one with that, only you can experience. When you know that is Dvait philosophy, man is one part, Dvait is separate. That dichotomy cannot give you the experience of universal consciousness. That's what Dvait has failed. And some people talk about Advait philosophy, that man is a microcosmic representing macrocosmic universe, without bringing Antaratma into the picture, has also not served, because we cannot be a living consciousness. We need a medium between these two. Jivatma is one part, the Paramatma is another part. You need a link between Jivatma and Paramatma, that is Antaratma. You need to experience that. So it cannot be Dvait philosophy, it cannot be Advait philosophy, it has to be something different, which I call it Tret Paravidya, 3 level. My 100 trillion cells are one part, which I call Jivatma, my body. Then my Atma within my ventricles of brain, which is helium-4, when it's in tune with Gayatri or Neon, then I can experience the beauty of that. And that is what I have done, and that is what I am trying to explain to the world. This is my experience. This is what I want everybody to have the experience. Only then you are in tune with universal consciousness. You can do wonders one by one and be happy with it. And all this information which I have gained since my childhood till today, with my conscious, superconscious mind, and understanding A to Z of my 100 trillion cells, and each 100 trillion cell can produce 20,000 memory synapses. And I have 20,000 into 100 billion neurons. Can imagine the kind of memory I have, the kind of walking, talking encyclopedia I have. I can talk of any subject, encode, and I would definitely one day or other like to have a discussion with all the greatest intellectuals of the world who claim that they know everything, so that we can have a discussion which Yajnavalkya had in Janak's kingdom. We need to come to a conclusion that Divyank is the answer, Akhand is the answer. We need an impeccable wisdom. We need to redesign our knowledge from school, college to the university in a uniform which every child is aware of. Every child is given that information for love of it, free of cost, with all the facilities of greatest teachers who teach of only Divyank. And I know the world is not going to accept, because we are already different. People have economical and other reasons. So I have taken that immunity on myself. I am doing that myself with my videos, my answers for Akhand Sutra, Akhand Vidyashram, and let me do it. And I am sure over a period the world realizes this is the wisdom they need to bring uniformity in the world for world peace, and I would be happiest person to contribute to it. And I think I'm already done that. I'm doing it day to day. That is my, now 20 years living alone, my work is only to share my knowledge with the love as a single-handedly, completely conceived and designed by me, and nothing other than my experience, my conviction, in the light of Divyank and Akhandata, impeccable wisdom, and Anshul. And with that, I think I should come to an end. I think it's enough for the day. Thank you very much. It was lovely talking to you. Thank you.